I just noticed that you look like a dude from Super Seducer a little bit.
What's Super Seducer?
Wait, you've never played Super Seducer?
No. I had someone say like it's very Nathan Drake from Uncharted.
Is he? I don't know. He kind of looks like you a little bit, or maybe you look like him a little bit. Maybe that's because of the beard. I don't know. I can't decide.
I want to do all the buttons up. Like that. Sit there like this.
No, it's okay. You do you. You do whatever. You do whatever. You do whatever feels best. You know.
I was going for the okay. In that case.
In that case, shirtless David cosplay.
You really put me on the spot to impersonate.
Please. I was hoping you were not going to pick this one, but there we go.
I'm not a professional player. Nobody comes to my channel for gameplay. My name is Chapperz, and this was my favorite interview on the Citadel.
Sup everybody, this is the second episode of Favorite Interview on the Citadel, and I have a super special guest. I say that about every single guest, but all of them are special. And my very, very great friend, Chapperz. Chapperz is Dead by Daylight, I'm gonna say. He says that he's a variety, but he's not. He's a Dead by Daylight main streamer all the way from the UK, and today he agreed to be my second victim for this beautiful thing that we're doing here. Hi, chaps.
This madness, you like checking for traps. No, fuck! Oh no! There we go. Oh my god. Oh my god, this guy's getting absolutely KO'd, man. Hey, victim. I wasn't told that I'd be a victim of this.
That's everyone's reaction to it. Everybody's like, what? But I'm going to torture you with questions, quite a few of them. I ask you to be as honest as possible, because otherwise the point of this interview is going to be lost. All right. So the very first question, similar to everyone, when did you start streaming on Twitch and how did it happen? What in your life happened so that you're like, I'm going to Twitch?
So I started streaming on Twitch about 4 years ago. I used to do a lot of YouTube stuff. So I used to do like a lot of like YouTube events, and I used to like just YouTube about my life back when I had a lot more free time and disposable income, when life was amazing. And yeah, so I did that like about like 6 or 7 years ago. I did YouTube, and it just got to a point with YouTube that I just kind of felt I didn't really know what content to make anymore. And I've always been into video games, so I decided to jump across to the Twitch about 4 years back now.
Okay, what kind of content were you doing on YouTube back in the day?
So it's mainly just like video blogs and stuff, really. So like if I'd go on like a road trip somewhere or a little travel trip, I'd usually just like video blog it and edit it up and put it on YouTube.
Right.
That sort of stuff, really.
I never knew that.
Gaming related.
I never knew that. So you actually had some experience with YouTube, and then you're like, I want to play video games, so you just went all the way for Twitch. Nice, nice.
Exactly. I got started on YouTube not that long ago, really, a month or two ago. I do videos like with Kesman and Chaps. You can check that out there.
More. Alright. You're taking the piss, aren't you? Fuck you.
For a very long time, you've been maintaining the full-time job, and you were also streaming on the side, right? And how difficult was it to do? Because you were streaming quite often too.
Yeah, it was quite draining at points, but I think you also get energy back from streaming on Twitch. And I know like there's a lot of people that say like, I don't know how you do like 8 hours of streaming, but I think that the big thing is, and I'm sure you'll probably know this from your chat and your channel as well, like you sort of get energy back from the people that are in your community as well. So it's not just like a drain on your energy, you get as much back as you take in.
And did your colleagues know that you stream on Twitch?
A few of them did, actually. I don't think everyone did. I think a fair few of them did. I always remember like one of my colleagues meeting, he said to me like, I popped into your Twitch channel the other day, and he said like, I just heard a load of swearing. He's like, it's so unlike you. Like I was like, okay, that's internet me, and then this is me. Like when I'm in work, I don't swear that much.
How different internet you from the IRL you?
I think generally, apart from I think when I'm in like a professional like work setting, obviously I'm not going to be swearing all the time and stuff and shouting like I do on Twitch. But I'd like to think that I'm pretty authentic and pretty genuine and pretty myself across from like Twitch in real life. I'd like to think that there isn't much different about me really across the two.
So no Twitch personality, no stream personality happening.
Not really. There might be a bit of a radio voice going on when I'm streaming and probably in this interview, but I probably sound a little different.
Disclaimer, this is not how Chapperz sounds IRL. This is his radio voice too.
I try and mask the Birmingham accent a little bit when I'm streaming, just to try and...
How thick is Birmingham accent?
It can get really... I don't know if you've ever seen Peaky Blinders, but that is very much associated with like the Birmingham accent. But yeah, I don't have that thick of an accent. It's only like certain words, like when I say Birmingham.
Can you impersonate it a little bit? The thick Birmingham accent?
You really put me on the spot to impersonate.
Please. Victim, I told you.
All right, I'm from Birmingham. That's pretty much me in a nutshell. So it doesn't really sound very exciting.
That's
pretty boring.
That is not what you sound like.
No,
no thick accent happening. Yes. So, the pandemic, the whole thing happened this year. It affected many people. You were that one person who it also affected by a lot, right? I'm not sure your community knows, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that. Maybe they do know, but they know, right? So Chapperz lost his main full-time job because of the whole COVID situation happening, but you turned that frown upside down and you kind of went and started streaming on Twitch full time now, right? So how long have you been doing that so far? How long have you been streaming full time now?
So it's around 2 months. So it's just coming up to like two full months of streaming full time.
How does it? How does it feel so far?
Yeah, I've been really enjoying it. It's been amazing, and I think with the job situation, I think it's kind of a blessing in disguise almost, because it's kind of pushed me into doing something that I'm genuinely passionate about and enjoy and want to wake up and do. So I think, doing it over the last 2 months, I've seen a lot of like growth, a lot of new people come into the community, and it's just kind of given me the time to focus on streaming that I didn't have before, really. So I think in a way, it's kind of a blessing in disguise.
That's very good to hear. And do you feel like it could potentially become your main thing where it can like pay your bills, make you a living, or do you think that at a certain point you will actually have to find a job again?
So I've kind of given myself like a 6-month window to just like focus on solely just streaming, and then I'm going to kind of take it's not a step back, but I'm going to kind of take a step back from the situation and just analyze it and see where I'm at that point. And that'll actually be around the time that I'm going to be moving out into my own place and stuff, which is a whole nother story.
So many things happening this year, man. Insane.
Yeah, it's a busy year, but I'm just like you said, I'm trying to like turn frowns upside down and trying to just see it as a new opportunity and something positive and something that I can just throw myself into. So
do you ever feel genuinely sad? Like, do you ever wake up and you're like, I cannot do this anymore, I am so, or is that always like, because what we see on the internet, right, and quite IRL too, right, because we did hang out for a couple of days, right, it's always this bright smile, he wakes up, he's like sleepy, but he's already smiling, he goes to bed, he's exhausted, there's this huge smile on your face. Is there ever a moment when you're like, no, I'm done, can't do this anymore?
Yeah, of course. Like I go through like everyone, I think I have like good days and bad days. Like yesterday as an example, I decided I didn't want to do like a face cam stream, and I kind of finished after just 3 hours, and my head just wasn't in it, and I wasn't in the right mind state. And I'm very much someone who I'm like a bit of a sponge, so I'll kind of like soak up what's going on in the world around me. And as you'll know, and probably anybody watching this, there's a lot going on in the world this year. There's a lot going on with different movements and stuff, and obviously that can have an effect on everyone's mental health as well. But yeah, just like everyone else, as much as you might see me smile all the time, I definitely have bad days. I definitely have, crappy times.
You're very good at hiding it, though. You're very, very good at kind of having your own time on your own.
Yeah, I kind of like my own company as well, which helps. But I'm also really honest on Twitch, so like I don't shy away from sort of like real topics and real discussions, and I like to kind of be honest and I don't always like to set the idea that, you know, I'm always okay, because that then the whole comparison thing comes into play. I think it's important to also show that, you know, it's all right to not be okay some days, and that's totally normal. Otherwise, you're just setting a whole like false pretense for everybody who's watching your content and watching you and seeing you online.
Right, and also people who think this guy's doing okay, why am I not doing so okay, right? To show that it's actually getting very, very real. So as a person who've done the part-time streaming, having a full-time job, and now who's been doing a full-time streaming as well, what would you recommend to people who are just starting their streaming journey, who are thinking about it? Because this is a great dispute. People are thinking about it and talking about it all the time. You actually have the experience. What, from your point of view, would you share and say about that?
In terms of if you're talking about like tips and stuff like that, I'd say like I wish that I would have set like myself a schedule a lot earlier on when I started Twitch, and stick to it with that consistency. So I do think like consistency is a really big part. So I think like, yeah, back I used to just stream when I first started. I just used to stream sort of whenever I felt like it, but it's kind of really good to have a schedule. And even if that doesn't mean you have to go like full time with it either, like even if you've got like just 1 or 2 days a week that you can stream, try and keep it, if you can, those same 2 days and the same times. And I also think that the game that you're streaming, certainly when you're first starting out, does have an impact as well. So I think if you go into a category that's got like loads and loads of streams and loads of views, I think it's very hard to get discovered and get noticed within that. So I'd kind of, yeah, just have a little think about what game you wanna stream as well. And then thirdly, I'd say interacting with the rest of that community. So for me, like the Dead by Daylight community has been amazing. I've met so many people, like yourself included, through Dead by Daylight as a game.
That was such a long time ago, though. But yeah.
I know, yeah. But yeah, like it goes to show, like even if someone doesn't stick playing that game, you make a friend, and then like you share communities, and it's really nice.
Yeah, that friendships, they do last. How important for you, this question was not on the list because I want you to be like super honest about that. How important for you to become a Twitch partner?
I wouldn't say it's super important. It's something that I'd love to achieve. It's something that I'd really like to achieve, but I've always said that I really want to just like get there when I get there kind of thing. Back in the day, I wanted to do like a partner push thing, and I've kind of, I think in my head, I've kind of gone, you know what, I don't really want to do a partner push. I just want to kind of naturally
just get there.
Just try and, just naturally try and get there. And that's not anything against anybody that wants to do a partner push. Like, I'm not judging anyone. That's just my personal preference. I kind of just want to naturally get to that point. But I think, yeah, the biggest thing for me with being partner, I just really would love the extra emotes, to be honest. I think that would be great.
Legit.
Extra emotes.
Legit, because you have so many and you have such a good artist. It's like, come on, just give this man more emotes.
That's it. Yeah, I'd love to get there eventually. I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't want to get there. It's not top of my priority list, but yeah, I'd love to.
What will you do when it happens? Because I know it'll happen. It'll happen very, very soon. I'm sure about it. What will you do? Will you get drunk? Will you throw a party?
I'll probably do a sub. I'm yet to do a subathon. I've never done a subathon as of yet. So I think if I get it, say like later this year or next year, whenever it will be, yeah, I'd love to do like a subathon celebration, because I've not done one of those yet. But
pretty cool. I'd love to see you be live for 24 hours or maybe longer, and kind of like just like lose it, then second breath. That'd be a lot of fun. Can't wait for the day. Cannot wait for the day.
Yeah,
I'll be awesome. There. I'll be there.
I'll need lots of coffee.
That's true. Does your family know that you stream on Twitch?
They do, yeah. My immediate family knows, so like my mom, my dad, and my brother. They're well aware. I don't think they fully understand it as much as like people within the community. I think it's a weird one to explain to people. I think like my granddad just doesn't get it at all. Like I'm like, I stream on the internet games. He's like, great, like.
Okay.
But yeah,
they never watch you. They never come by. They never watch you, or they do.
So I've shown them like clips and stuff like that. Clips that I posted to like my Instagram and stuff that they've seen. Like my mom has seen those, and I've sort of showed them briefly what it's all about. But yeah, they never like. I just don't think that they would download Twitch and jump in and be in chat and stuff like that. I just don't think that they would do that. That's not because they're not supportive. I think that's just because of how they are. I couldn't see them downloading Twitch
Just
on their
not
phone.
quite on the level with the whole Twitch chat thing.
No.
Would you
no.
be Embarrassed of what happens in your Twitch chat if they would stop by?
Times, because the conversation does take a little bit of a turn at times. So there's definitely times that I'd be like, I hope my mom isn't watching. So I'm kind of glad that they're not on Twitch. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, I think I'd really like them to understand the community element of Twitch, because I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. They perceive video games to be like, oh, someone's locking themselves in a room, how antisocial, and like it's, as you'll know, it's the total opposite, like especially when you're streaming on Twitch.
Community is the bestest thing. You've got a pretty fantastic community. Can you share a little bit of what they did for your birthday? Because that was not long ago.
Yeah, so one of my mods, Fantasy T, she put together an amazing like birthday video full of like messages from people, and that included like people from my Twitch community, but also people from like the older YouTube days as well, which I was quite surprised to see. And then yeah, another community member who is also in your community, Toe Man, he put together like a montage of like old clips and stuff like that, and did like a really nice video as well. But yeah, that was just really like heartwarming to see, and I think to just sit back and watch the video and see, I guess how it's, because sometimes I think when you're streaming you don't really realize the impact you have, but when you see like all those messages from people and kind of impact that you and your stream have had on other people, it's really kind of like heartwarming to sit back and see that. But yeah, that was lovely.
I saw parts of those videos, and just seeing the faces of the people who watch you and seeing them talk to you, when it kind of changes a little bit, like the perspective changes. It was fantastic. It was really great. Chaps has a beautiful community. If you guys are not part of it yet, now is like perfect time, so that next birthday you can be like, hey Chaps, happy birthday. But anyways,
they are a good bunch. They are.
Has streaming ever affected your relationship, like personal relationship, with the partner, in a good or a bad way?
Yeah, definitely. I'll be quite honest in saying that it definitely has affected like my previous relationship in a negative way, probably. I tended to focus. I'm someone who, like, when I want to do something, I'll kind of like throw my all into it, and I think with Twitch, it is something that is very, very time consuming. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, and it's not just being live, as you'll know. It's like, catching up with the community outside. And I think it's one of those, it's not like a typical job where you just kind of switch off, as it were. I think, you're always active, you're always thinking, you're always replying. There's a lot to it. You're making clips, there's so much going on, and it definitely affected the relationship in a negative way. And I'll be the first to admit, I probably put like, a lot of time and energy into Twitch over the relationship, if I'm honest.
So you would say that if anyone is in a relationship with a Twitch streamer, they should be ready that a lot of time is going to go into the community and the job itself.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. And I also feel like different people, without going off on too much of a tangent, I think different people have different needs from a relationship. But yeah, I think you've just got to be, I guess, just understanding and supportive, and be a little bit ready for someone's time. I mean, it is a balance. You have got to balance it. Relationships still need work. You still need to put time into relationships and your partner.
Yeah.
And same with your friends and social groups as well. Although a lot of Twitch streamers, I think my social group is mainly Twitch now. I have a few IRL friends that I see, but I think I mainly look forward to like the Twitch cons and hanging out with everybody.
It's very, very, very true. You've mentioned the Twitch cons. We're going to jump questions a little bit to like naturally flow into that. What's the bestest con that you've ever attended?
Oh, so I think last year was an amazing year for me in terms of TwitchCon. So I went to TwitchCon for the first time, but I went to two. So I went to the one in Berlin. That was last year, wasn't it?
It was last year, 2019. It feels like it's been ages ago, honestly.
It really does. But yeah, that was amazing. And I always remember like sat around with like yourself and a bunch of other people around a table, like I think it was on the first or the second night, and I was just like, this is amazing. There's people here from all around the world, and we're all just sat in one place having drinks, getting along, common interests. So that was amazing. And then I was lucky enough to be able to afford to go out to San Diego for
Mm-hmm.
TwitchCon in the US as well, which I've always wanted to do. Um, and that was just as incredible. And that was like a holiday as well. The fact that it was in San Diego, and again, it's just meeting everybody and seeing everybody that you know through Twitch. It just brings it all together, and it just makes those connections with everybody that you've got to know even stronger. And it was such a nice time.
So both TwitchCons were great, right? You don't have a preference because a lot of people are like, TwitchCon NA is better than a U. For you personally, was there a distinction between or not?
I think based on location, I think I definitely give it to San Diego based on location.
Traitor, traitor.
But that was just because outside of the con, like on the doorstep of the convention center, you had like bars, restaurant, everything was there. Whereas, as you'll know, in Berlin, when we stepped out of the convention center, it was like, where's this bloody taxi? I'm freezing.
It was also in the middle of nowhere. There was nothing
Yeah.
around the actual con area. All right. Could you share the most bizarre or embarrassing story that happened to you during one of the cons? Because I know that you have a few, but pick one.
Pick one. Okay, it's gotta be the does it have to be at the convention itself, or can it just be
No,
during
I think during the time that you were at the cons.
Okay, so it's probably going to be the time that we were all sat down, and you'll know this as well. We're all sat down in a restaurant.
Oh, I knew you. I was
You know I was
hoping.
gonna
I
go
was
with
hoping
this,
you
right?
were. I was hoping you were not going to pick this one, but there we go.
And then some lady, like some lady came across and just told us all to like shut up. And then before we know it, she was buying us like tequila after tequila after tequila. It was just this random woman just sat down with us, and you know she was quite a bit older than us, I'd say.
A bit.
And
She was older. She was way older than us.
Yeah.
She was
telling us
way
about her,
older
like,
than us.
divorce and everything, and she was buying us all tequilas.
She claimed she was a multi-millionaire as well.
Yeah. She was like, "You don't know who I am." Like, it was just bizarre, but it ended up being a really fun and memorable night. I think it's one of those things, like, no matter how much I explained, I think it's one of those you had to be there moments, because I don't think I'm gonna get across how just like bizarre it was.
It was a super bizarre. It was a really weird experience of just a random person who ends up spending hours with you, and then things just get super weird. And I don't think I should talk into detail. You should just have to be there. But I think that was the most bizarre, weird, but also fantastic random encounters in my entire life, which happened on our last night in Berlin as well during the TwitchCon. Yeah, it was our last night.
Crazy.
Yes. So you mostly play Dead by Daylight, right? Dead by Daylight is your main game. You're trying to do some variety days, but it's pretty much just that. Do you ever feel burnt out on playing and streaming just one game for so many years?
Sometimes, yeah. There's definitely times where I've had to take a break from Dead by Daylight. I think it all depends on the quality of the games and how they are. I think generally, like, so I say this a lot in my stream as well, but it becomes a point sometimes, like if I'm having a bad day on DBD, I've learned to just not be too bothered by the games as much as possible, and just have that as like the game is almost background to me catching up and interacting with chat and stuff like that. I'm not a professional player. Nobody comes to my channel for gameplay. But yeah,
I was not the one saying that. I was not the one saying that.
You sure? I'm sure I saw your lips moving as I was saying that in agreement. Like. But yeah, I think it's easy to get burnt out on the same game, I think. But ultimately, it's the community and the people behind, you know, Dead by Daylight, and everyone that comes into the channel that keeps my energy up and keeps me wanting to stream, really.
Great. So you've mentioned the DBD community, right? So you've mentioned that if you play a game, you should be around people who also play the game, you know, talk with the devs, and apparently there is a community of people who stream that, right? And people who are involved into that. How much drama is there inside this community? Do you have to deal with it a lot, or you kind of stay like behind, like away from it?
Yeah, not really. I've not really experienced much drama within DBD. I think certainly the Dead by Daylight Twitch community. I think there's always people, like, I'm not on Reddit, but I hear people like that go onto Reddit and complain about the game, or, you know, that you can never do right from wrong. You know, like with Dead by Daylight, I think that's the right phrase. but like there's always people who will kind of complain about the game and stuff. But in terms of actual drama, certainly within the Twitch Dead by Daylight community, I don't really seem to see too much. Now, whether that's because there isn't much of it or whether it's because I do take a back seat, I do tend to kind of move myself away from drama pretty quickly in life. That's just what
I just imagine you smiling your smile and just like back away inside the bush and just kind of like, that's it, guys.
That's it. Yeah, I can't do drama. Drama is just an absolute drain on your entire energy, and I don't like it.
Absolutely, 100%. Dead by Daylight has a Fog Whisperer program. For those who are watching this have no idea what it is, it's kind of like a partnership program. You become a Dead by Daylight partner streamer, you receive some special things, keys to give away, and it's pretty much devs saying, yeah, we like you, you're cool, we want you to represent the game. Would you want to become a Fog Whisperer one day?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind becoming a Fog Whisperer. Again, that's not really... It's not really in my goal. I'll be quite honest. I'm sometimes I shy away from the whole like clickiness of community sometimes. I don't know if that's a bit of like imposter syndrome where I feel like, oh, you know what, I don't belong in this circle or in this group. And I definitely don't think I'm the only one to kind of experience that feeling. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice to be a Fog Whisperer. But yeah, again, it's not really like my top priority. I think my priority is always just jumping on stream and having a good time and just growing and building the community, really. But it would be nice.
I think it would. I think it would fit right in. I don't know that many people are in the community anymore, but I think it definitely needs your positivity, and I think you would fit right in. Maybe one day. But it's also great how you say that it's not your ultimate goal. How the goal is to have a good time, and I always love hearing people say that. My goal is to have a good time, have a fantastic time with the community. This is what's important. Right answer.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It would be great to be a Fog Whisperer, but I feel like the Fog Whisperers know a lot more about the game than I do. Like you'll know how bad my memory is. Like you know me. Like my memory is just absolutely awful. I've been playing the game for like 4 years now, right? Mm-hmm. And there's still so much I don't know about the game. Like some people can just reel off what a perk does like that, and I'm just sat there, I don't know what it does. Like so I think that's probably gonna always go against me a little bit.
Okay, Dead by Daylight trivia. How many killers are in Dead by Daylight?
16.
I don't know.
Total guess. I don't know either.
I'll have to look it up.
This is exactly what I mean. Some people know all the stats, all the things, like can just reel them off. Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, dude, that's embarrassing, isn't it? Oh, oh, you saw nothing. You saw nothing, chat. Oh fuck, I sneezed and fucked up the skill check.
We've learned literally like just the day before yesterday that Mixa is Ripperoni. It has stopped its operations, right? It was a huge it was a huge blow on everyone, people who stream on Mixa, people who definitely like just do streaming for a living. Everybody was shocked. Did the news make you scared that one day Twitch will stop operating as well?
It didn't make me scared that Twitch is going to stop operating. I think that there inevitably, you know, will be a point in the future where like Twitch may not be around or it may turn into something else. But I'm pretty confident that the way we consume content now, like a lot of young people, and even myself, like I don't watch TV much anymore. Like the way I consume content is online, whether that be YouTube videos or I spend a lot of time watching Twitch. And there's a lot of times that I'll just load up Twitch on the TV and watch my favorite streamer or my, you know, people that I know instead of watching TV. So I'm not too worried that Twitch is going to, I think this is how content is going to be consumed for a long time. Twitch as a platform might disappear, but I'm gutted for Mixer because it's, I mean, imagine, you know, you and I being told, you know, waking up and being told that, you know what, we're shutting Twitch down, your entire community is just gonna be
Or if you're live
vanished,
on stream, actually streaming, and somebody sends you like a link with the tweet, and you're streaming it, and then in front of your eyes, your entire community and everything that you've built up just crumbling. When I was reading those tweets, my gut was just turning inside, and I was like, I can't imagine this ever happening. But let's say that Twitch as a platform is no more, right? Because obviously the streaming services will, keep evolving and will keep growing into something else. What would you do?
I think I'd try and move it across to something else. But obviously that's very hard, and I think with like say Mixer, they're trying to like transfer everything over to like Facebook gaming, but like realistically, they've given people like a 3 or 4 week window, and not everybody's going to be able to get their community across. Like even if a lot of people are switching to Twitch. So I actually went on to Mixer, right? Shortly after the news, and there was a lot of people understandably upset, like, and crying and stuff. And a lot of them were saying, you know what, I don't want to move across to Facebook. I don't like Facebook as a platform. I don't want to move to Facebook. I don't want to encourage my viewers and my community to have to sign up to Facebook to watch me. And then another point as well, I was talking to one of my mods about this the other day. Like, I think Facebook is all like people's actual names. So like, I think people like that anonymity of, I don't know if I said that right, anonymity.
Note, Chapperz is like the native speaker here. Native, born and raised, speaking English.
I think people like to hide behind a username a little bit, you know what I mean? Not in a negative way, but I think...
But being anonymous, not like revealing. Yeah. Especially, wait, do they ask streamers to use their real names as well too?
Not streamers, but I think like when you look in chat, I think it's all just like real names from people's actual Facebook accounts.
But yeah, I believe there would be less trolling, I guess. But I can see how people like, oh no, I'm not saying anything in this chat.
Someone can then easily search you up as well. Like they've got your name and your profile picture in the chat, right? They can quite easily search you up, and that then becomes a little bit of a risk and danger, especially in light of everything that's been coming out recently. I think can be a little bit dangerous, a little bit worrying, maybe.
I did not know that was a thing on Facebook. Yeah, I don't like it. I really don't like it. No, not at all. Not at all.
I think 3 or 4 weeks is a very like small time scale. And there was literally people on Mixer. Like I was browsing the directory of Dead by Daylight, and everyone had like so many people had like just their new Twitch name as their stream title on Mixer. Like literally you scroll through and everyone was like twitch.tv/ here's my new account, and they were just like pushing to promote. But even then, like 3 or 4 weeks, you're not going to get your full community and all your follower base across
no, definitely not. Well,
platform,
hopefully Twitch does something. Hopefully Twitch does something to help those people out. What would be best though, if Dead by Daylight ever monitored Mixer, maybe give those people a shout out as well too, you know, just to kind of give them a little boost. Because starting from the very beginning, stressful, difficult, tough.
Yeah, but yeah, I really feel for them.
Right. We have 2 more questions left, and wow, that's gone very fast. I've been enjoying having this conversation and asking you all sorts of questions. Is there anyone on Twitch that you don't like among your colleagues? Don't share any names. We don't do name sharing. But is there anyone that you like? I don't like this person.
There's not anyone that I don't like as such. I tend to just, again, I gravitate myself towards those who kind of share same values that I do, really. So like, you know, respect, positivity, inclusiveness. So there's no one that I mean, there's a few people that I think, you know what, I'm shying away from your channel. I don't, it's not that I don't like them. It's just that I don't like their values do not sit with my values, or their community does not really represent what I believe in.
Right.
So a very diplomatic answer, but there's no one that I really there's not anyone that I'd say like I don't like that person.
When I've had the interview with Thola, he was also very diplomatic about this whole thing, and I'm just waiting for maybe one day somebody's like, yeah, there's this like one dude, or is this like there's one girl, I hate their guts. Maybe one day. Maybe one day somebody,
you might get that
one day somebody would be like, oh, come on, stop it, you know. So far,
might get there.
diplomatic answers. I'm okay with them though. And is there anyone on Twitch as a content creator, as a streamer, who you look up to, who's your role model, who you get like inspiration from, and you're like, I want to be like this dude or like this lady or like them?
Yeah, definitely. There's a couple of people, a couple of streamers in the Dead by Daylight community, and I'll happily sort of like name. I think Morph is one of them. I've always kind of like looked up to his content and his community. Like he can always have a good laugh with his chat and his channel as well. Like he's always been a pretty inspirational Dead by Daylight streamer for me personally. And then also Vincent Vega. Like, I don't think I could ever be as funny as Vincent Vega.
I think that's not possible.
That's impossible.
He broke that ceiling a very long time ago, and he just flew all the way to space. The content that he does for his community.
But he cracks me up. He's just funny, and I think his channel's very unique. And the amount of like work that he's putting behind the scenes for different things to make like Dead by Daylight more fun than it just is by playing it. Like he's got lots of different elements and things added in. But yeah, they're probably like two streamers certainly from the Dead by Daylight category that kind of inspire me and that I look up to and sort of enjoy their content as well.
That's really cool. Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you so very much. Sadly, this interview comes to an end, and I'm gonna go cry because it's over. But I get to edit it and hear your voice again, million hours over again and again.
Look at you. You get to hear that Birmingham accent replayed, like
again. Before we go, I ask everyone to say that it was your favorite interview on the Citadel. Can you please do that?
Yeah, my name is Chapperz, and this was my favorite interview on the Citadel.
Perfect! Thank you so very much.
Thanks for having me, Ivy. Take it easy. No one saw anything. No. You saw nothing.